Hello everyone, this is my quick and practical review of the Nikon Coolpix A1000 camera. The reason that I want to review this camera is because after using it just for one day, I realized what an amazing camera and what an amazing solution this camera is for all of those people who hate to miss that shot of a bird or of an animal that's just too far away, or of a flower that's beautiful that's just too far away to come to and take a good picture of because it's in the middle of the garden, or of something small on the building that's just too high up there. This is a great solution for everyone who wants to have a small camera with a very powerful zoom that produces sharp pictures with great colors. So I will talk about a few things that I really like about this camera and who I think this camera is great for. And I will also mention what this camera is not good at doing and for which purposes this camera would not be a great solution. So first, the first obvious thing that I really like about this camera that has a 35x zoom is the size. While it might not be a true pocket camera, it might not fit in your jean pocket, it will easily fit in a typical hoodie pocket, and I carried it all day in my hoodie. So it's about 2 inches thick in the thickest part right here. In this area right here, it would be 2 inches, and it weighs about 11.4 ounces with the battery and the card, the SD card. The other thing that I like in this camera, which makes it all the better solution if you need to capture a special moment, maybe a bird or an animal sitting somewhere and you want to capture it as soon as possible, is that the start time in this camera is surprisingly fast, and I just want to demonstrate it to you. So you will see how I click and you will hear the sound when the camera is ready to go. It's ready. The next thing that I like about this camera is the finishing. It feels solid. It feels a little bit heavier in a good way. It doesn't feel plasticky. I don't know if it's all metal or it's a foam metal, but it certainly feels like a quality product. The next thing that I like about this camera is that the area for the tripod here, the hole for the tripod, is pretty far. In fact, it's on the opposite side and the bottom of the camera from the battery and the card compartment. And many of us who have experienced cameras where these two are too close to each other, we've all known this frustration of having to remove your camera from the tripod to replace the card or replace the battery. This camera is not going to have this problem. The other thing that I like about this camera is that it has flash. Not that I care about this flash all that much, but it's nice to have it as a backup. This camera also has a touch screen and again, a very powerful zoom and surprisingly sharp pictures. The next thing I like about this camera is I got it refurbished with 90-day warranty. The link is below, from Amazon, and I believe it was under $400 if I'm not mistaken. So it's a great deal. Let's see, what else do I like about this camera? Well, let's talk about things that arguably are not perfect and discuss why it's not a big deal. So the aperture here is 3.4 to 6.9, and you might say, yeah, it's not a great lens, it's not a super fast lens. However, if your purpose in getting this camera is to use it in a normal lighting, in daytime light, whether it's sunny or cloudy, to capture certain objects in nature, this is not going to be an issue. Let's be real. How often do you hike in the darkness? How often are you trying to zoom into something in the darkness? And even then, if you do that, even very good cameras are still not going to produce a very captivating image. So for this type of camera is not an issue. You are not buying this camera to take pictures at a concert or to take pictures of a dawn or a sunrise necessarily, or at all. Now, so let's talk about who this camera is for and what the purpose, one good purpose of this camera would be. You like to hike, you like to travel, you don't want to carry a much larger camera like Nikon P950 or P1000. You don't want to have an extra bag. You want to have something with you just in case you see something very interesting that's far away that you want to take a picture of. Maybe it's in the sea because you're on the beach. Maybe it's somewhere on the other side of the hill. Maybe there is a deer or a gazelle or whatever you want to take a picture of. Maybe there is a small flower that is far away that you really want to zoom into and take a close-up shot of. And you're planning to travel light. You like to travel light, like most of us, and you don't really care about the camera's low light capabilities. Now, let's talk about who this camera is not great for. All right, so this camera does not have a headphone jack and it doesn't have a mic jack. So the only cables that can be connected are a USB cable to charge this camera and also the mini HDMI. There is no other inputs or outputs. In addition, this camera does not have a screen that would allow you to see yourself. So this is as far as the screen is going to go. So my guess is that this is just for you to be able to take pictures at a certain angle. But this camera is not designed for vlogging. It's not a great solution for vlogging. That's number one. Number two, I was disappointed in the quality of the video that this camera takes. Even though it has 4K at 30 frames per second, and even though it has 1080 at 60, up to 60 frames per second, the video is very choppy when you move your camera. Now, if you have a stationary object, if you're filming someone who you're interviewing, or you're filming something stationary in a typical normal daylight, you will be fine. This camera produces reasonable results. But if you start moving your camera, if you're trying to make some kind of short movie, this camera is not a great solution. The video that comes out of it is quite choppy and irritating. I don't know, maybe I've been doing something wrong, but my videos did not come out right. So this camera is not for video. It's mostly for pictures and also for, again, stationary video. I like the combination of size, the zoom, the good price, the quality and sharpness of pictures, and how user-friendly it is. The touch screen, the user-friendly, very easy to figure out menu, the electronic viewfinder. This camera has all the qualities to be in your backpack when you're traveling light and you don't want to miss that special shot of something that's far away that you want to bring much closer. This camera is a great solution, again, for someone who spent a lot of money on a larger camera and who is frustrated with the fact that they don't use it as often because they just don't feel like bringing it with themselves all the time. So, if you get this camera, tell me how you like it, what you like about it, what you don't, and what your experience has been with it. I've been really impressed. Again, for the purpose that I mentioned, I've been really impressed with this camera. I plan to keep it, and I plan, hopefully, to use it a lot in the nearest future. Thank you for watching.